All right, so with the sounds of weed whackers and lawnmowers going off in the background, it is a bustling day here in Fremont, Ohio. Many people out doing their yard work and whatnot around the Rutherford B Presidential Library Museum. The boys and I came out to visit and see what this is all about. This is the first presidential library ever to be constructed and created in the United States. So that's kind of fun. Just to give you guys some waypoints, kind of figure out where we are. Out near Toledo, out near Sandusky. So you'll hear the noise of some lawnmowers and whatnot going on in the background. But the boys and I made it out to Fremont, Ohio, to the Rutherford B. Presidential Library. This is the first ever presidential library created in the United States. So again, we're in Fremont, Ohio. We're going to check this out. We don't know much about Rutherford B. but hopefully we'll learn some things along the way. So join us. So I looked up a tiny bit online, and the area that we're in, this triangle, is called Sphagel Grove. This is where Rutherford B. lived, and I guess his estate donated this land to the state of Ohio to create this area. And now it's time to go in and give this a try. As we walk in, I want to show you guys what the gates look like, because the gates are pretty cool. I'll show you the gate. We drove through this earlier. Give you a good view. Yeah. It's presidential seals with the eagle and the rope. Pretty cool. Seen lots of people walking around the grounds and whatnot too. Found a map. See that we are right about here. Found another map, a little bit larger. Kind of go through this so you guys can read through it. Talks about when they bought it. When they built the main house. Feel free to pause at any moment and read these. Go to the other side. All right, so we're gonna try going in. I don't know if they have it open. I mean, obviously it's still a pandemic going on, but obviously on the sign earlier it said that these gates were donated by the United States, and they're considered the presidential gates. So I want to see inside or look it up, maybe find out if these were actually part of the White House at some point. Right in the middle of Fremont, Ohio, there is this really cool, very presidential looking building. The Rutherford B. Hayes Museum and Library. So the steps they're interesting. They definitely figured out a way to work in wheelchair access as well as just have steps for everyone. It's kind of fun and unique. The kids are already having fun on them, obviously. So much like some of our recent presidents, he won with the electoral vote. Looks like one vote. That is crazy. And he lost the popular vote. That has definitely happened quite a few times recently. It looks like it led to a huge controversy, which is something that we just lived through very recently. That's why we like going on these adventures. We learned new things today that we didn't know prior to coming in here. So this is really cool. This is the amount of people that could vote versus how many did. All the way from, late 1700s all the way to the 2000s basically. If you look, quite a few people can vote now. But for many years, many people couldn't vote. And one of the most telling signs is that if you look over here, they have these cards that you can put in saying whether or not you're able to vote. The majority of people before us would not have been able to vote in the 1876 election.
Fought in the Confederate cavalry during the American Civil War.
Did you press a button?
In 1876, he ran for governor against incumbent Daniel Henry Chamberlain, who was a Republican supported by the federal government. Both Republicans and Democrats claimed victory in South Carolina's gubernatorial contest. Eventually, the South Carolina Supreme Court declared Hampton the winner.
I feel assured the politicians of the state will come out and see and hear for themselves. There will be thousands and tens of thousands of colored and Americans who will join the Democrat Party in the state. I give them the word of the man who is a friend of both. They have a road network, and if I have elected governor of South Carolina, I will be the governor of the whole state. I'm so interested in the whole people of this state needs.
This ornate chest, cabinet, whatever you want to call it, holds the White House china from when he was in office. That's pretty cool. Here's a board talking about that. Talking about the children he had. Fannie and Scott Hayes. Some of the clothes they would have worn. Other fun things. Some of the toys that the kids would have used. That is really cool. So we saw that photo a minute ago of the two kids. And here are those same clothes. To think now we use huge limousines with like 18-inch glass, bulletproof glass. And this is what the president used to be taken around in. I'm sure this is very luxurious and fancy for the time. So we're about to enter into the original part. This is the original part of the Presidential Library Museum. This has been here since 1916. Pretty cool dollhouses. So the dollhouse is original to the Hayes family, but obviously the toys are not. And then over here we have another one. Our boys are used to playing on the internet and playing video games, but they didn't have that way back in the day. This is pretty cool. Not sure if it's the original or if it's a copy of the desk that he would have used. But there's definitely a presidential desk here. And a bunch of medals and letters that he would have written. Is this a sign of things to come? Little dude leading our great country. Oh, he looks like he's going to be a little bit of a dictator with those actions. Here in the basement they have Ohio and Unnatural History, which is a collection of mythical creatures, maybe real creatures, who knows? Creatures that people have been scared of or obsessed with, that have lived in Ohio. we'll explore that and show you what that looks like. Have you ever heard of a legend of a creature that you always wanted to see? A Bigfoot? A Nessie? Comment down below. Wow. What an interesting exhibit. So for those that don't know, I used to work in Gallipolis, Ohio, which is in Gallia County, right across from Mason County. So I've known quite a bit about the Mothman for quite some time. Cannons, part of the weapons room coming up. I know little dude has been looking forward to this area. So we had learned earlier that Rutherford B. Hayes was part of the Civil War. One of his proudest achievements of his entire life was being promoted to general. One of the people he served under, who he admired for the rest of his life, was Abraham Lincoln. Which is really cool. Union and Confederate weapons. The War of 1812, which we also learned today, had many battles here in Ohio, including, I believe they said there was one here in Fremont, Ohio. Yeah, I don't think you should pull that today. Otherwise, that boiler room would get cold. I think there'd be explosions. I don't think it's loaded either. What a cool room. These two are fascinated by this cannon. Read the sign here, it says that it was presented to Webb Hayes, who is the second son of the president, by Russian army officers who captured the cannons near the Forbidden City in Beijing. It should be noted that Webb Hayes is the reason that the museum was built. He lived in the house that you will see later, which was his dad's house, and then he decided to make a museum in honor of his father, and pretty cool stuff. Oh, that is where the podium is. Yeah, we were just walking up there a little bit ago. Oh, that's pretty cool. Step down to Rutherford and his wife. Like an old fire engine from back in the day. So we learned that Rutherford was elected the governor of Ohio 3 separate terms. He had been a lawyer in Cincinnati. His wife Lucy had cared for wounded soldiers. We also found out that she was the first lady to enter the White House with her college degree, which is really cool. Again, things we didn't know. We wouldn't have found out if we weren't going on these adventures. This area talks about her getting her degree, a female in college in Cincinnati. They first met when she was 16 years old, and then reconnected when she was a little older and fell in love. It says that they would carry 46 pounds of stuff. That is a lot of stuff. Keep you in shape, that's for sure. And this over here talks about his promotion to general. Again, we've been told when talking to some of the staff that was his crowning achievement. He liked that. He was most proud of that compared to everything else that he had done. This area talks about presidents and the media. Pretty interesting to realize that this has been going on for many, many years. The media either trying to control or promote or control the presidents that they aren't happy with, or promote the presidents that they are. Very, very, very much like what we're going through today. No matter your political beliefs, whether you're on what you consider the good side or the bad side, there's always somebody who thinks the opposite of you. That's what makes America and this country great, in my opinion. Because we can have differences. All right, so hey, we should talk about how much it cost. Overall, it was $30 for the 3 of us. That gives us a tour of the museum, as well as we are getting a guided tour of the house. Now, we've been told that we may not be able to take video inside of the house. So if we can, great. If we can't, we'll let you know how that went. But total was $20 for me, and then kids 6 to 12 are $5 a person. So nothing too bad, pretty reasonable. And we'll take some pictures of the outside of the house, and if we can, we'll show you what it looks like inside the house, and then we'll move on from there. This place is much bigger than I would have thought. Just wanted to give you a view from the front porch. This is where you would come out of the door. Really nice place to sit, relax. Again, we're in the middle of the city. Aside from the noise of a few cars, you wouldn't be able to tell, especially not back in the late 1800s. We were able to film inside. We have some video. We'll show you that. Overall, what did you guys think? Was that pretty cool walking through the house? Worth the time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so too. All right, well, let's start looking around the grounds and find the tomb. So we just finished our tour of the house. I'm gonna try and make our way to the tomb. And explore the grounds a little bit. So I'm not normally one for saying, hey, we should go film at a gravesite, but I think it's a little bit different when it's one of your presidents, right? And we've been invited to the gravesite with it being a presidential. Yeah, it is. So as we go up there, we'll pay our respects and we'll be quiet. Someone who helped lead our country. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us. This was a cool experience. I want to thank Charlie Green, wife's uncle, who recommended that we come out and do this experience. What do you guys think? Did Uncle Charlie do good? Was it a good recommendation? So he stopped and recommended. He said, hey, come check this out. It's not far off the turnpike, which it's not if you're on Interstate 80 heading towards the Toledo area. It is maybe a 10-minute drive off of the turnpike at the Fremont exit. And I will tell you, we had a ton of fun. We learned a lot about the 19th president in the United States history, which was pretty cool. We got to see a lot of memorabilia and learn a lot of things about not only that time period, but things that had happened during his presidency, leading up to his presidency, then even since then. 100% recommend it to all friends and family. By all means, come out, give this a try. The grounds are free to walk around. They're open till dusk. And we see many families out here just out taking a picnic, taking a hike, taking a walk, walking their dogs. It's been a lot of fun for them. We spent about $30, I think it was $30, $5 for each of these guys, and then $20 for me to take a tour of the house, as well as be able to have access to the museum. And we've definitely made a good 2-3 hour day out of our experience here. So with that, we'll see you in the next video. We thank you for coming out. We're gonna ask that you please like and subscribe, as that helps us grow the channel, helps us grow what we're doing here, and you know, lets us know what we want to do in the future as well by the comments you leave below. So please do that, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, so as a bonus part of the video, we walked past this a couple times. It says, hey you, yeah you, pick me up. Today the universe picks you to receive this gift with hope that it brings you joy. And this is turn it over for more info. When we turn over, it says, Art Abandonment is a group of artists sharing what we love to do by leaving artwork in random locations. If you keep this or pass it on, we'd love to hear from you. And then it gives their information here, which I will zoom in on. And we will definitely hit them up. What do you guys think? Should we take it or should we leave it for somebody else? Either. We'll leave it for someone else, but this is pretty cool. So again, art abandonment. You got a fan here. We'll definitely be reaching out and showing you that we saw this on our video. What do you guys think? Pretty cool?
Yeah, and if you come here, you can actually take it if it's still there.
Yeah, I don't think it'll still be there. Hopefully somebody takes it soon. How cool.